goes #1 last night. But for her rookie season, she's only making $76,000. I say only, but that's just in comparison to other NBA players and WNBA players. What does that say about the pay gap in women's sports?
The sports world just exploded. A single number has sent shockwaves through the WNBA community, stirring up heated debates and leaving players demanding answers. Iowa basketball superstar Caitlin Clark's estimated 2024 earnings were revealed, and they paint a stark picture of the pay gap not between men's and women's basketball, but within women's sports itself. And WNBA players, they are not happy. Here's how it all unfolded. Caitlin Clark, a college basketball sensation, has been a household name since her jaw-dropping performances during last season's NCAA tournament. Her ability to dominate on the court, pull off impossible three-pointers, and bring energy to arenas has made her one of the brightest stars in women's basketball. But what turned heads this week wasn't her game, it was her financial game. Clark's reported NIL, name, image, and likeness, earnings for 2024 have skyrocketed to a jaw-dropping $3 million. For context, that's more than double what many WNBA players earn in an entire year.
Changes. I think the eyeballs on this number, $76,000. Now again, she's making much more than that. Her endorsements are into the millions. There's also a chance of having $250,000 contract or addition for marketing the WNBA. I'm sure she'll get that as well. So she's going to be a multimillionaire.
This revelation has reignited a fierce conversation about how women's sports are valued, not just by fans, but by sponsors and brands. WNBA players, who have spent years advocating for better pay and respect in their league, didn't hold back their feelings. Take WNBA veteran and outspoken leader Nneka Ogwumike, for example. In an earlier interview, she passionately discussed the WNBA's fight for equity, pointing out how players are often dismissed despite their world-class talent. "We're doing the same work," she said, "but the rewards are miles apart." And now, Clark's earnings have poured gasoline on an already blazing fire.
It's been a lot of trying to figure out how I want to come out of this, because I think when you endure situations that are tough in life, you can choose many different roads, and there's stages, and so now I'm just really grateful to be playing with my team. I'm grateful to be on a team with people that care about me, and I just want to play. I just want to play basketball, and they always say situations in trials, you grow stronger, and what is inside of you is kind of exacerbated. And so I would like to say that out of that, I've always been described as resilient, and I think I had to kind of tell myself that a lot to make sure that I believed it, because it's been a few weeks of feeling unvaluable, or unworthy. And so it's been very difficult. I'm sorry. I swear I wasn't gonna cry. It's been very difficult. So I just want to play basketball. I'm sorry, you guys. I just want to play and have fun.
While Caitlin Clark deserves every dollar she's earned through endorsements, merchandise sales, and appearances, her success has laid bare the massive disparity in how women's basketball is marketed and consumed. It's not about jealousy, it's about justice. So, why is Clark making millions while some of the best professional players in the world struggle to break six figures? The answer lies in visibility. Clark's electrifying games consistently draw millions of viewers. Her Final Four matchup with LSU last season broke records with over 9.9 million viewers, making it the most watched women's basketball game in history. Compare that to a WNBA regular season game, which often struggles to surpass 400,000 viewers. The difference in audience size naturally affects the sponsorships, endorsements, and media attention each receives.
Hey, Kelsey, last night, we know what happens with Caitlin Clark. What did you think watching Caitlin break your record, seeing her do it in the fashion that she did?
She's incredible. I mean, especially too the exact shot that she broke it. I mean, I think that pretty much sums it up, right? Just pulling up from basically half court. But I love it. It's so good for the game. It's really cool to see somebody just not be afraid of the moment, and just excited for her. And who knows? You know, everyone's trying to figure out she's coming out or she's staying put. But you know, if I'm Iowa, I'm going to throw the kitchen sink at her for sure.
Hey, and if I'm the Indiana Fever, I'm going to do the same thing. We know what they want to do in this town.
Well, listen, you can say that, but then you're going to get an investigation for circumvention of the Flower Cup. Let me tell you. Let me tell you.
Understanding what you're putting down there, Kelsey. All right, so this weekend, how much fun is it for you to be here with your teammates? Just enjoy everything that NBA All-Star has to offer.
Brands flock to visibility, and Clark's image has become synonymous with basketball excellence. Whether it's her Nike deal or her feature in national ad campaigns, she's positioned as the future of women's sports. But WNBA players argue that the league's stars are just as deserving. They simply haven't been given the same opportunities. Take Sabrina Ionescu, for example, another highly marketable athlete who transitioned from a legendary college career to the WNBA. Despite her talent and charisma, she doesn't have the same financial footprint as Clark. Why? Because the marketing machine that elevated Clark hasn't worked the same way for Ionescu or for most WNBA players. This is where the outrage intensifies. Players aren't angry at Clark, they're angry at the system. For years, the WNBA has struggled to secure TV deals, attract large audiences, and convince sponsors that their league is worth investing in. Many players feel they're trapped in a cycle of being undervalued because they're not promoted enough and not promoted enough because they're undervalued. Clark's earnings, while inspiring, highlight just how much the WNBA has been left behind. Brittany Griner, one of the league's most iconic figures, has spoken openly about these frustrations. "We're the best at what we do," she said in an interview. Why isn't that enough?
Everyone deserves the right to play. Everyone deserves the right to come here, sit in these seats, and feel safe and not feel like there's a threat or they can't be who they are. Definitely will be speaking up against that legislation and those laws that are trying to be passed, for sure.
What's even more infuriating for players is that they're not asking for handouts. They're asking for investment. They want their games broadcasted on major networks during prime time. They want marketing campaigns that treat them as stars, not afterthoughts. And they want to be part of the larger cultural conversation, just like their male counterparts. And here's the twist. Caitlin's success could help. Her massive platform has brought unprecedented attention to women's basketball, opening the door for more conversations about equity in sports. But whether that momentum translates to real change for the WNBA remains to be seen. Clark herself has stayed humble amidst the controversy, frequently crediting her teammates and coaches for her success. In a recent interview, she said, "I'm just grateful to play the game I love. If my story inspires others, that's what matters." However, not everyone sees it that way. Social media erupted after the earnings report, with fans and players alike sharing their opinions. Some called it a wake-up call for the WNBA to overhaul its business model, while others questioned why the league hasn't been able to capitalize on its talent the way the NCAA has. In the end, the issue isn't about one player or one league. It's about the future of women's basketball as a whole. Caitlin Clark's $3 million paycheck should be a celebration of what's possible, but for WNBA players, it's a painful reminder of how far they still have to go. As the debate continues, one thing is clear: change isn't optional anymore. Whether it's better marketing, more significant investments, or structural changes within the WNBA, players are done waiting. They're demanding action, and they're not backing down. For now, Caitlin Clark will keep dominating on the court and cashing those checks, while WNBA players fight to ensure their league gets the respect and the resources it deserves. The question is, will anyone listen? And that's a wrap for now, but this story is just beginning. What's your take? Do Caitlin Clark's earnings reflect progress, Or do they point to bigger challenges in women's sports? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and let's keep the conversation alive.